Hello all you lovely people, and welcome to the fourth video in the Super Smash Bros. Ultimate Top 5 series. If you haven't seen the previous videos in the series, have a look in the description for a link to the Countdowns playlist where you'll find all sorts of videos for your entertainment. In this video, I'll be looking at my top 5 loved and hated items that help me get the better of my opponent. The rules will be pretty much the same as they were in the Smash Brawl and Wii U videos, so most of the items that can be turned on or off on the item screen are what I'll be considering, though there are some exceptions. The Smash Ball, Pokeballs, Master Balls, Assist Trophies and all healing items are out. So are the item carriers like barrels and crates. Also, no stage items like the crabs and turtles in the Mario Brothers stage. Everything else is pretty much fair game, so with that, let's get cracking. The Bob-omb. It's simple but very effective. Pick it up, lob it at your opponent and watch them go hurtling across the stage. Granted, it can be a bit of a gamble if the Bob-omb has been sitting there for a few seconds and you wonder whether you'll be able to grab it before it starts walking around and explodes in your face, but most of the time it's well worth it. When they do go for a walk, you can try and smack your opponent into the bomb instead, which will work just as well. While making this list, I realised I'd completely forgotten what I'd put on my previous lists, so after I'd made my choices, I watched the other videos and was quite surprised that I'd put the power bomb on both lists, but this time, spoiler alert, it doesn't even get an honourable mention. Super Spicy Curry. As I mentioned, I'd completely forgotten what I put on the previous item list, but when I saw the Super Spicy Curry on the Smash Wii U list, it was a case of, not much has changed then. It's one of those okay in theory, sucky in practice items, because half of the flames you spit out miss unless you happen to be battling an opponent much larger than you, so it's not really reliable at getting your opponent's damage up, and it's something that I think, give it a go, it might be alright this time, only for it to end up to be a massive disappointment. Steel Diver. In all the item lists I've done, I've always ended up having a gun weapon in the list. While most gun weapons are pretty good and have their uses, I love using the Steel Diver, even if I keep wanting to call it the Steel Driver. The gun itself is a submarine, I'd never even heard of the game it comes from, which is cool, but it shoots torpedoes that explode, causing a fair amount of damage, and while it might not have amazing knockback, the 10 shots it has are enough to get in some decent damage and keep the opponent away from you. It's weird that in Smash Brawl I went with the Super Scope, which apparently is called the Nintendo Scope over here, over the Ray Gun, and in Smash Wii U I went with the Ray Gun over the Super Scope and the Steel Diver, but now I'm going with the Steel Diver over the Ray Gun and Super Scope. I still like those guns and they have their uses, but to me the Steel Diver is a bit more reliable and fun. Ramblin' Evil Mushroom, a new item never before appearing in Super Smash Bros, and I kinda wish it stayed that way. All it does is reverse the controls of the person hit by the spores it shoots, which sounds alright, but it's not exactly hard to adjust to the new controls, seeing as left and right are the only things flipped, and it seems to have very little effect on CPU players at all, so you might as well not bother. If it also remapped all the buttons, then it could have been at least half decent, but no. The back shield. I love this thing. There was a spirit match I was really struggling with, the Pyro one against Shulk and Lucina, but then I equipped a back shield and it was an absolute godsend. It pretty much made the difference between success and failure. I don't remember using the shield that much in Smash Wii U, so I guess having a situation where using it in a spirit match made me realise how useful it is, and now I'll use one on every opportunity I get. The banana peel. Yes, the daft banana is back again, and yes, it's just as useless as it's always been, so for a third time, it's a banana peel, you throw it, it lands on the floor and someone can slip on it. It's a minor inconvenience at best, that's all there is to say about it, so on to the next one. The Beast Ball. This thing is so much fun. As soon as I started using one in a battle during the World of Light, I knew it was going to be on my top 5 loved items list. You throw the ball, it disappears and then reappears to strike the nearest person. If you manage to hit someone with the initial throw, it'll target them and can be thrown multiple times. It's one of those simple but effective weapons that I love using. smoke ball, another item returning from the previous list, so I won't dwell on it too much, but it's still pretty pointless. It does give off a bit more smoke than it used to, so it can do its job a little better, but its job isn't worth doing. I'll admit having loads of them all over the place while I was capturing the footage was actually alright, but in normal battles you only get one or two, so it stays where it is on the list. Of course, before finding out what my favourite item is, here are some honourable mentions. The Ore Club. Turns out I had it as my favourite item in Smash Wii U as well, and it still rules. Great damage and knockback from the main smack, and the tornado is hugely useful with its alright damage, size, range and push effect, so whatever happens, your opponent suffers. If this weapon appears, you can bet money on me heading pretty much straight for it. And as always, before we find out what my most hated item is, here are some dishonourable mentions. Mr. Saturn, let's be honest, you probably all saw this coming. It was the #1 hated item in Brawl, it was the #1 hated item in Smash Wii U, and it still sucks. Yes, it can be used to instantly break a shield, but with how little effect it has on you when it hits you, having your shield broken by it would probably be a bigger detriment than just letting it hit you. So the one thing it's actually good for is so rarely going to happen, I've never known it happen, and I only found out it could happen when people told me about it in the comments of the previous videos. He needs to go back to Saturn Valley where he belongs, and the sooner the better. So there we go, that's my top 5 loved and hated items. Don't forget to like, subscribe and let me know what your top 5 loved and hated items are. Normally this would be the end of the Smash Top 5 series, but this time I have a couple more videos planned, so until then, thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed it and see you next time.